So we're in Revit in a project file, and this is the module. And if I roll over this module and select it, you'll notice that it says that, hold on, let me grab it again. It's a model group. So it has been grouped using this function up here, create a group. And I've called it base frame new. So this is the base element that I've used in my project. You can use it too. It has some specific dimensions to it. I want to make it clear that you can modify those dimensions if you like. You can either make this a wider unit, or you can deal with that by combining multiple units together. A little bit about this. So we have a mass timber floor deck. We have, if I zoom in here, we have mass timber beams going across. And then we have this kind of a mechanical assembly or connection between the two heavy timber elements. And if you think about it, when two of these units go together, each one is creating half of the mass timber system. Otherwise, we would have double. So I've cut the mass timber down in half, at least theoretically, and then I've attached these bolting plates to bolt units together. And actually what I'll do is I'll go into this now. I'm going to select it. I'll just zoom out to see that it's all selected here. And I'll go to Edit Group. And that takes us into the mode where we can actually, we could manipulate these individual items. Like I said, I used to have students create this, but I thought it was time that could be better spent towards thinking about the creative pursuits that an architect might want to explore, as far as the expression of the facade, the layout of the building, etc. So I will click into this just to explain a little bit of the thinking behind this structural element. This is a family element that I've selected, a connector, and I'm going to go I'm going to open up that family element just so you can take a look at it. So like I said, it's 1/2 of a piece of mass timber because the next unit goes to it, and that makes it a full square. We have a top plate. They're both kind of mirrored to each other so that most of the components here are duplicated. And then there's this long stretch of metal to another set of connectors. The idea here is that mass timber then slides between these elements here, the beam, so to speak. So that gap that's created, the load is transferred via this round cylindrical piece of steel. And the gap is there to allow a person to be able to reach in and pass a bolt through and bolt those two assemblies together. So that's probably enough about this assembly. Like I said, I've eliminated that from your construction on this go-round, and I hope that will give you time to focus on other things. So we're back to this assembly. Like I said, this is fully editable, so you could change the dimensions of it. And I'm going to take a few minutes and explain. I'm going to cancel out of the editing now, and I'll take you to a few of the views of it. Let's go to level 1 here, and I'll kind of explain my thinking on this. So the modules are 24 feet deep, which is quite generous for an apartment. They're 8 feet wide. They're 8 feet wide so that they can fit on a tractor trailer for transport. Anything that goes over 8 feet is an oversized load. That doesn't mean you can't make modules that way. It just means that your shipping is a little more expensive and more complicated to the site. The overall module is 28 feet, so we have 24 feet of interior space, an extra 4 feet that I'm cantilevering out that is used for hallway and access to the module. That's just, to me, a way of using these model groups to greatly simplify what happens when we bring them all together in a single construction. Let me see if I can go to an elevation here. I forget which one. I labeled one of these. Let me just flip through here. There we go. So this kind of gives you some more dimensions on the west elevation. The overall height of the unit is 11 feet. Once again, thinking about being shipped to site, that creates a workable area, a usable envelope from the base floor up to the very top connector, which might be the next module with its ceiling unit on it, of 9 feet 4 of headroom. You can see I've dimensioned the 4 inches. That is the mass timber slab. Imagine 2x4s turned on their side and spanning 8 feet. The beams, the bottom beams that go across are 1 foot thick. And I think that pretty well covers all the dimensions on an assembly. So once again, a reminder that this is a model group. So you can select it, just do Control C and Control V to paste it into any other document that you'd want. You can also use the load the group in. Let me see if I can find that. Insert. You can load as a group, so you can be in a file and load an external Revit file, which could be this one, in as a group. I'm going to suggest you don't do that way because I've already grouped this file. You're better off copying and pasting, I think. So I hope that works out for you without hitch. If not, give me an email shout out, and I'll make sure I try to explain it to everyone better. So one other thing I want you to notice is this orientation. So the model group has an origin to it, and then an X and Y axis indication. Let's see if we go to level 1, these show up. I want you to make sure that all your modules, that you don't accidentally move this or change the orientation of it, because with the placement of modules, if these things are out of place, the modules won't align themselves well. And that's especially important when we start to build the facade. We want that index or that origin point to be the same on all of our components. So I think that covers pretty much the introduction of the module and its use. What I'll do is I'm going to, in the next clip, jump into the file and kind of show you the kind of like structural way that I have created things.